Today's story comes from the bridezillas subreddit and was posted by Flimsy Set 5049 and was titled "Bride is Furious with Sister After." My cousin we'll call Laura is getting married in 2 weeks. She has the perfect wedding planned. I myself am one of her bridesmaids along with 4 of her other closest friends and her little sister, my cousin, as well. Laura has been very vocal about her having to pick which friend to cut out of the bridal party to make room for her sister, who her parents asked to have in the wedding. At the dress fitting for our bridesmaid dresses, my little cousin even said she felt bad her sister felt pressured and even offered to just be a guest at the wedding. She just wanted her sister to be happy. Laura said she felt pressured by her parents, so she refused to object. She just made underhanded comments about her sister. Well, about a week ago, my little cousin called me and said that she had been struggling with drinking and wanted to go away to get help. She said she knew the timing was horrible, but that she was scared of where her drinking was taking her. So we told the family together that day and have since rallied around her and supported her going to get help. Now, this hasn't taken away from Laura at all. Her wedding is still on, and we even had her bachelorette party this past weekend, which was a blast for everyone, especially for her, even though she went on about how she could handle her drink, but her sister obviously couldn't. Laura's friends all sympathized with her about how her sister could have waited until after her wedding to ask for help. I should note that my cousin admitted before going into treatment that she had been struggling for about a year. She had been able to keep up quite the facade that she was okay because we were all caught off guard when she came forward. She said she had been trying to hold on until after Laura's wedding, but that she physically couldn't do it anymore. I'm a nurse, and I've seen what alcohol withdrawal can do to someone. The withdrawal is deadly, so I'm grateful my little cousin admitted she needed help and was willing and taking the steps to get it. I don't understand how my cousin can be so heartless through all of this. While the family has shown support of my little cousin, everyone is still just as much, if not more, surrounding Laura with all the attention she could possibly need. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, Laura said she felt pressured by her parents, so she refused to object. She just made underhanded comments about her sister. Laura sounds like a massive bitch. I'm proud of her sister seeking help. I was a functioning alcoholic for years, and I finally admitted I had a problem in May 2024. I managed to hold on until my son graduated a few weeks later. I knew I had to get help, but we had worked so hard to get that kid across the stage, and I wasn't going to miss it. I entered a residential rehab center a few days later. Opie replied, "As a nurse, I know that's one of the hardest things to do when you're struggling with that, and you're proof of it. You yourself said you hung on until after your son walked that stage." My cousin, who had been perfectly fine the days I saw her, was a complete mess when I went over after she called me. I still couldn't believe she was struggling. She wouldn't let me into her apartment. She met me on the curb. I'm hoping she'll let me access to her apartment. I want to clean it for her before she comes home, so she has a clean slate to walk into. It's been really hard because the family is so preoccupied with the wedding now that my cousin is safe and patient somewhere. It's almost like they've completely forgotten her, which I'm trying to keep in perspective, that they're just trying to keep the focus on Laura because if she has spent a lot of money on this wedding and it won't be squandered by this ordeal. Honestly, I don't even want to be in this wedding anymore. Commenter 2 says, Laura sounds incredibly self-centered. What's more important, her wedding, which is no way impacted by this, or her sister's health and future? Her selfishness will bite her in the ass one of these days. Opie replied, she doesn't seem to think so. She believes she is entirely in the right and is even upset that the family had anything to do with supporting my little cousin while she was the one getting married. She genuinely feels her sister should have waited and that the entire attention has been taken off of her. Meanwhile, her in-laws purchased her and their son a new house in an up-and-coming development, so my family has been nothing but supportive of her getting help. It's just now that she's essentially somewhere safe for 30 days, they're honestly just going on with life as it is, including the wedding, which I guess I don't blame them. Honestly, it's Laura's stance that bothers me the most. I'm thinking of stepping back from the wedding. Commenter 3 says, it just makes me so sad. How can anyone, much less a sister, not support someone that's so broken and asking for help? You commented below that you honestly don't want to be in this wedding anymore, which broke my heart. I debated commenting as I don't want to hurt to her heart any more than it already is, but my first thought was I honestly don't want to be a part of this family anymore. It's just so unbelievably selfish. I'm so sorry this is causing you so much hurt and strife. Stay strong and support Laura's sister as best you can. Opie replied, I absolutely love my family and the way everyone rallied around my little cousin. I just can't be part of my cousin's bridal party anymore. Her friend is stepping in, so the bride is honestly getting what she wanted from the beginning. Commenter 4 says, obviously just based on one story, but sounds like this isn't the first time the bride has done nothing but be *TCH about her sister just existing, and her parents think forcing them together will do anything other than the harm it's causing the younger child. Opie replied, they used to have a good relationship at least when we were all kids. I don't know exactly what happened to cause their falling out. Commenter 5 says, now, this hasn't taken away from Laura at all. Her wedding is still on, and we even had her bachelorette party this past weekend, which was a blast for everyone, especially for her, even though she went on about how she could handle her drink, but her sister obviously couldn't. Laura sounds like she has a drinking problem too. It could explain why she's so angry at her sister. Maybe it's hitting too close to home. Opie replied, Laura has always been a drinker. She has always been able to hold her own, but she definitely can put it away. She's very successful and never displays any signs of distress, but then again, neither did my little cousin. Definitely some food for thought. Opie on her little cousin's progress. Opie says, she's at a really wonderful facility, so everyone has been able to breath a huge sigh of relief knowing she's safe and getting help. She took the hardest step, which was asking for help. So of course we all came together to be there for her. I just worry she's continuing to beat herself up for everything. Opie stepping back from the wedding. Opie says, I contacted Laura yesterday and told her that with everything going on, I didn't want it to seem like I was taking sides, so I said that she should have her bridal party be made up of people she wanted. She was taken back and told me that I was already taking her sister's side by backing out of the wedding, and how was she supposed to find someone now? I said to her, I just didn't feel right with how she was acting, so at that point she told me I was kicked out of her bridal party and told I might as well not even bother showing up, so we'll see. Opie supporting her little cousin when asking for help. Opie says, thank you so much for your kind words and sharing your story. Me personally, when she called me crying, I drove right over to her and just did the best thing I could, which was to just be there for her with no judgment. She was an absolute mess because she knew this meant she'd never have a relationship with her sister, which absolutely broke my heart. That was all she was worried about, and kept saying that this was going to destroy Laura, and she was going to hate her forever. I couldn't believe that was what she was more worried about. I reassured her that there would be plenty more occasions to attend, and that her getting help was the absolute right thing to do regardless of the timing. I was able to drive her to treatment and see her off. From everything our family gathered about the facility, it is wonderful and just the right place for my little cousin to get the help she needs. Opie on Laura es personality. Opie says, ever since she got engaged, she's been a totally different person, like she's trying to live out a perfectly mapped out existence, which I'm sorry, just is not possible. Commenter 5 says, poor little cousin. Maybe you should point out to the bridezilla that if her sister hadn't gotten help before the wedding, her drinking could have absolutely ruined the wedding, cause she would drink too much and be sloppy drunk before the ceremony was even over. Your little cousin did the very best thing for not just herself, but her elder sister, and your older cousin has been nothing but nasty to her from the get-go. Opie replied, Laura isn't really listening to anyone's reasoning. Despite the family still being all excited for the wedding, she still feels like her sister stole the spotlight and has taken away from her special day. I don't really see how, but then again, I was really the only one my little cousin broke down in front of and confessed just how bad off she had let things get. She had stopped going to the gym, she stopped cooking and just did takeout, she started missing work, which she never did, and she stopped returning calls and texts more times than not. I, like I said, was completely caught off guard because at the bridal shower and dress fittings, she seemed perfectly fine. I've seen countless people going through alcohol withdrawal, and she didn't display a single one of them. She seemed distant, but I just assumed that was because she didn't feel welcomed by her sister to be a part of things. I don't know. My cousin, when I told her I wasn't able to be a bridesmaid anymore, told me I should not even bother coming to the wedding, so at this point, I don't even know if I'm going anymore. Update 1. So I have an update, and it's insane. To start, the wedding has been canceled. Laura's fiancé, Thomas, or Tom, called off the wedding and moved out and in with his best man until he finds a new place. According to my mother, who is Laura's mom's sister, my Aunt Rebecca, said that Laura had been raising such a fuss about my LC, little cousin, to the point that her fiancé spoke up in her sister's defense. Laura then apparently accused Tom of cheating, or at the very least had feelings for her sister. After hearing this, Tom stayed with his best man, and he must have talked so sense into Tom. He must have realized this wasn't just wedding stress, and probably couldn't wrap his head around how Laura had been being so selfish and then accused him of something so absurd. Laura's mom has been overwhelmed now with calling all the vendors and venue about canceling. It's been an absolute shit show, according to my mom. I personally don't blame Tom for walking away. He probably dodged a huge bullet. I love my cousin because she's family, but I don't like her as a person with how she's been with my little cousin and her struggles and asking for help. Laura called me and left a voicemail, but I haven't called her back. Bride is furious now with me. So I listened to the voicemail, and I don't know how to respond to my cousin. Shannon, I need to talk to you. I hear you were the one who made my sister come forward about her drinking. Do you really think making her come forward just weeks before my wedding was necessary? This could have all be avoided had you just butted out and not made a big deal out of something that wasn't. You know what? Don't even bother calling me back because I have nothing more to say to you. You fucking bullshit. How do I respond to this? Also, I got a letter from my little cousin. She's doing so much better and doing well in treatment. She asked if I would be involved in a family session. I think this is where I'll suggest her moving in with me or gauge if it's a good idea or not. Relevant comments. Opie updates on her little cousin. Opie says, she's doing so much better. She's asked me to be a part of her family session in 2 weeks, give or take, and I'm right at her back telling her, yes, absolutely. I'm also going to suggest she should be my roommate, but I don't want to come off as like I'm trying to keep tabs on her. I just want her to be around someone who can support he not drinking, since I personally can't drink because I break out in hives every single time I've ever tried it. So I just don't touch it. Commenter 1 says, your place seems like a great environment for your LC post-treatment. The fact that she came to you and said I need help bodes well for her recovery. Tom did the right thing and also showed support for LC. It's great you are offering your home and your support. Good luck to your LC. I hope she is wonderfully successful in her recovery. Opie replied, someone suggested I use the word invite so it doesn't sound like I'm trying to keep tabs on her when I bring up about her moving in with me. I'm not trying to keep tabs on her. I really just think her living on her own right away might not be the best idea. I think she may be open to the idea, so we'll see. Opie on Tom. Opie says, Tom actually reached out to me to see if there was anything he could do for LC. He said something about putting a care package together for her and asked me if there was anything specific she needed. We're going to go out later and pick some things up and send it out to her today. Commenter 2 says, although I would feel some satisfaction telling her where the fuck to go and why, best not to respond. It doesn't matter what you say, she will not change the story in her head. She's the center of the universe. Tom dodged a bomb. MO, keep her nasty message tucked away somewhere. These kinds of people will deny what they've done, blame you, and you might need it. These people are so unpredictable, always blaming someone else. You never know what will come up next. I have a sister like this. I keep evidence. I don't think about it, but I keep it. Shame. She could have more serious mental health issues. My sister does. It's not how mentally healthy people behave. It's wonderful you are so supportive of LC. Ideally, she can move in with you, stay clean, and thrive along with you. There's the risk she might not stay clean, but the positive signs are she took help. She is doing what's needed. It sounds like she genuinely wants to overcome this, and she's doing the work. Opie, there must be deeper familial issues there. Opie replied, honestly, I know when it comes to sobriety, you have to want it, and you have to be willing to do the work. In her last letter to me, she expressed how grateful she was that I wasn't mad at her and was willing to help her ask for help from the family, so she didn't have to do it alone. Having someone there to literally hold her hand helped her a lot. She says everything about the facility is amazing, from the staff to the facility itself. She says there's an actual chef there and that the food looks like it's from a 5-star restaurant. So she's eating while she's making a lot of good connections with women there, and even discussed doing a 45-day stay as opposed to the 28 to 30-day stay. Her parents, and honestly the whole family, is so proud of her, with the exception of Laura, for getting help they sent her to one of the best places on the East Coast. I think the family is starting to see just how out of line Laura was being. Commodore 3 says, "Holy shit show, Batman. I am honestly floored. I would have thought that she would eventually see how far off her priorities were, especially when Tom took a break. She doubled down and then accuses him of cheating? I don't think it would be wise to respond at all. Definitely take a screenshot, but I sincerely believe that there is nothing you can say that will make her see the light. You're a truly empathetic, loving friend and family member to want to help your cousin find her way back to good place. Maybe look into Al-Anon meetings near you to familiarize yourself with coping strategies. Best of luck to you and your cousin. I'd love to hear about her progress." Opie replied. In her last letter to me, she said she's doing very well. She's out of detox and I residential. She says there's an actual chef that runs the kitchen, so she's eating well and enjoying all of the different groups and therapy being offered. She said soon she'd be able to make phone calls every other day once she's done a week in residential. So that's actually this week coming up, she'll be able to call me, which she said she was going to be keeping me as her point of contact. She said she's discussing doing 45 days rather than the 28 to 30-day program, which honestly our family doesn't care what she needs if they suggest it. We're willing to listen and do it. If the facility suggests longer and she's willing, the family has already said they'd pay out of pocket to keep her there if insurance cut off after 30 days. Update 2. Yesterday, Tom and I went out and got a few things for LC. 2 cartons of smokes, some toiletries, a few more outfits, a journal, and a bunch of other things for her stay. While we were out, Tom's phone kept going off between texts and a few phone calls that he kept ignoring. At one point, I turned to him and said, "Wow, someone's really popular." He tells me that it was Laura and that she had been trying for days to get in touch with him, but that he just wasn't ready. Tom explained that who he was about to marry wasn't the woman he fell in love with. Laura working at a soup kitchen to help the homeless was something Tom fell in love with Laura from the beginning. I was so confused. That's when I told him. Laura hadn't been working the soup kitchen out of the kindness of her heart. She had been court-ordered after a discrepancy at college involving underage drinking. She had been sentenced to 300 hours of community service. He couldn't believe it. Laura had been putting up this whole facade for Tom and his family because she was securing her future. Tom is very modest and humble, but he comes from a very wealthy family. Laura has always been materialistic, so it's no surprise that she honed in on Tom. Now here's where it gets interesting. Laura must have installed a tracking app on his phone because as we were leaving the post office, Laura was there waiting in the parking lot. When I say she went off, I mean she went off. She started yelling and screaming at Tom, saying she knew she was right about him cheating first with her sister, now with her cousin, meaning me, and Tom snapped. He sternly and firmly told her that she was out of line and that he couldn't believe that he was about to marry someone so heartless and cold towards her own sister. Laura called him a bunch of names, and when Tom started to walk back towards me in his car, Laura ran after him, begging him not to go and to just talk. We went straight to his phone carrier where he purchased a new phone and new phone number. As we were finishing up the errands, Tom made an insane offer. His aunt is on the board of an outpatient D in a program. He had spoken to her and said he could get LC set up with outpatient aftercare once she's home at no cost to her. He also said he was going to help pay 1 year of her rent and utilities so she can focus on her recovery and getting established with that. I told him I was going to suggest LC move in with me, and he said whether it's at her place or with me that he'll take care of her rent and bills for the next year. So things are looking up for LC and not so much for Laura. And no, for anyone thinking Tom has a thing for LC, you're way off. Tom's just a genuinely good guy. The second story is from Girl Dinner Diaries subreddit. It was posted by Audrey Hepburnlover and was titled, "Mom wants to use my Klarna for a vacation she can't afford." I turned 20 yesterday and had a nice weekend away from home and just gotten back to this mess. My dad's birthday is coming in September and my mom wants to take him to Punta Cana. The thing is, she can't afford to pay the full amount straight away. My mom used to have her own Klarna account, but after missing 99% of her payments and late fees building up, they eventually banned her account for her unreliability to keep up with payments. So she asked me if she could use mine. This was in 2024, and I said she can use it for stuff that she needs, but not to go crazy on it, because I was conscious of my credit score. She hasn't listened, and until Christmas, she had too many payments building up. I told her to stop buying so much stuff, or I'd put payment authentication on my account. She didn't listen again, so I changed the settings to send a code to both my number and email to verify that I'm making the purchase. Since I enforced this, she stopped buying as much and resorted to using her ClearPay. I've been planning to delete my Klarna account for months now, since the start of the year. And I thought I was going to until we had an argument while on vacation a few months ago over money. And she made my dad ask me for the verification codes so she can use pay in 30 days for our overweight luggage. When I realized what she was doing, I said I didn't get any codes, and she came in and screamed at me to send her the codes. Then once we made up and flew back home, she said she can't afford to pay the full amount in 30 days. I said if you need to split into 3, then that is fine, but don't use pay in 6 or pay in 12. And she completely went against what I said and used pay in 12. I was so mad at her for this, and she promised she would pay off the rest by the end of June. She hasn't. Now, she's planning my dad's birthday vacation in Punta Cana. She already asked me if she can use my Klarna, and I asked her if there's another way she can pay for this trip. She said there wasn't another option, so I told her if you want to use my Klarna, then use pay in 3 or pay in 6. She kept insisting she needs to use pay in 12 because she can't afford the first 2 options. I reminded her again that I want to delete the account. She said I can't delete the account because I'm still buying stuff with it. I said that's exactly why I want to delete it. Anyway, I reminded her once again if she wants to use my Klarna, then she can't use the pay in 12. And her response was if she can't use pay in 12, then she can't take my dad on vacation. Guilt tripping much? I'm also trying to save up to move out and to get a car. She knows this, but she says, I'm sure you still wouldn't be able to afford it. Every time I mention my awareness of my credit score, she just laughs it off. I would have deleted this account if she hadn't used the pay in 12 behind my back. I've already asked her to pay the rest of that off soon, and she said she can't afford it. I'm so tired of this. I can't seem to get her to listen to me. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, this is fraud and also financial abuse. As someone who is also financially abused by her mother, I would encourage you to lock down your accounts and freeze your credit immediately to prevent her from attempting to use not only your Klarna, but also even potentially take out a loan or credit card under your name. Opie replied, thank you for your advice. My mom actually asked me a few months ago if I could take a loan out for her because she could barely afford the last vacation we went on. Of course, I shut her down and ultimately did not take a loan for her. I feel so stupid for letting this go on this long. I'm just going to have to pay off what she owes Klarna and delete the account. Commenter 2 says, girl would delete the account as soon as possible. Commenter 3 says, you need to put your foot down. Otherwise, you'll be in deep debt for the rest of your life, so your mom can have luxuries she clearly cannot afford. Commenter 4 says, she's never going to listen to you, and she's never going to change. I'm sorry you have an awful mother. It's tough. Focus on what you can control and stick to that. Commenter 5 says, this is financial abuse. You're being taught how painful it is to not have boundaries and have family use you for their financial struggles. You need to show and want that this isn't the financial life you want. A week ago, I had to tell my aunt in the Philippines that I cannot lend her $6,000 for her to immigrate to another country for work. The responsibility doesn't not have to be mine. And I put my foot down. Otherwise, the cycle will keep going. It's in your power to break through. Hugs. This is hard work. Update. Firstly, I just want to thank everyone who responded to my post. I wasn't expecting that many responses, but I really appreciate everyone's support. A lot of the advice I received was United States-based, such as freezing my credit, but I'm in the UK, so I looked into the UK equivalent. I've now cleared all the outstanding Klarna payments on my account, including the ones my mom had been using my account for. I've deleted the account and following the advice I was given, and will pretend that the account was banned due to late payments. My mom will be angry about this for sure, but at least I saved myself from letting this go on even longer. I've also checked my credit reports with Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, and there are no loans, credit cards, or other accounts I don't recognize. Some people warned that my mom may have taken a loan out in my name, but my reports show that everything is clear. As an extra precaution, I've registered for SEFA's protective registration, which adds an extra layer of identity checks if someone ever tries to apply for credit in my name. I also want to clear something up because I saw a few comments asking why my dad wasn't stopping this. He is completely oblivious. My mom has never told him how much debt she built up using my Klarna, and she told me once that if I ever told my dad how much she owes, I wouldn't be welcome in my house anymore. As I stated in the last post, I'm currently in the process of saving enough money, so that threat was something I had to take seriously. If it ever came to that point, my partner and his roommates would be more than willing to let me stay at their place. I've decided that I'll be staying with them for a few days just to have some space. Going forward, she will no longer be using my Klarna account. There is no longer an account to use. The comments on my original post made me realize that I was essentially a doormat, and I need to put firmer boundaries in place and protect my own financial future. Thank you to everyone who has made me realize that no matter how brutal your comment was, I still appreciate it. However, because this is the internet, I have also gotten some comments calling me stupid, dumb, and one person even asked me if I'm R-worded. That is not right. I'm still a human being, learning to say no to my mother after years of giving in. Any hateful comments have been reported. Thank you again to everyone who commented and encouraged me to take this seriously. Relevant comments. Commenter 1 says, "I'm so proud of you, OP. You will look back and be proud of yourself as well for taking quick action and actually prevented yourself for additional constraints with your mom. You know, deep down this was the best foot forward, and I hope that one day you are blessed in abundance. Not only just with more money, but more happiness and be more secured when making important decisions." Opie replied, "Thank you. I saw your comment on my original post. I'm assuming you're Filipino too, so I feel like you might understand the cultural pressure a lot better than most people here. It doesn't excuse what happened, but it definitely made it a lot harder to say no. I really appreciate your kindness." Commenter 2 says, "You need to tell your father the truth. This is his financial life as well. He deserves to know." Opie replied, "You're right. He deserves to know the truth. He's already fully aware of my mom's spending habits. My mom has a new package at our doorstep almost every day. My dad sees it most of the time and used to get angry over it, but I think he's just become numb, indifferent. I'm not sure if those are the right words to describe it, but it's like at this point he's not surprised and doesn't bother arguing because he knows she won't listen. Last year, she took him to Barbados for his birthday, and they went into debt for it, not using my Klarna. I'm not planning to never tell him, but just delaying it for now until I've secured a place so I can move out, and she already threatened to kick me out once. However, thank you for your advice. I really appreciate it." Commenter 3 says, "For what it's worth, this is textbook financial abuse. Controlling your living situation and making you go into debt in your name so she can access credit. This is recognized under the Domestic Abuse Act 2021 in the UK. Reporting this may help you get access to resources which would help you leave this situation sooner. Again, this is a crime of abuse. Please don't stay any longer than you have to. Just because it isn't physical doesn't make it not abuse." Commenter 4 says, "This is such a positive update. I'm really proud of you for taking control of the situation and protecting yourself, even though I know it wasn't easy. You set a boundary, checked your credit, and made a plan for your own future. That's a huge step. I hope this is the beginning of a much healthier chapter for you. And happy belated birthday. Those macarons look well deserved."